Okay, hello folks, and welcome back. This week we are going to be discussing some topics around, what are we going to be discussing?
We are discussing disability ethics, virtual ethics, and accessibility, surrounding my condition with cerebral palsy and hopefully the church as well. What do you think, Patrick?
Well, I think we're going to be discussing in a more broad sense, in that we're not just talking about people with cerebral palsy who are approaching this from just a church perspective. We're looking at, I would say, more a disabled person's perspective into accessibility issues around the church, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And what would you say is the current state of things?
I would say the current state of things, like right now, I would like to see a little bit more of accessibility around the church, especially when it comes to physical space, because one of the things that I've noticed, because I serve in ministry, on weekends and Sundays, and one of my roles in the young adult ministry was a volunteer lecturer for my local parish, and every time that I would go up to do one of the readings in church, I would have to go onto the side where there's a rail, where everybody else was going up in the front, and there's obviously no rail, and it's it's uh it's not accessible in a way that, like, there's no rail in the front, so then I would have to go on the side. I think we could do more in terms of accessibility and kind of just thinking about how that could develop our character and understanding disabled people, just like how when I first started dating Patrick, I was really worried about what he would think about my disability, but I mean, it turned out that he didn't really care about my physical stuff, but it's more like the character part of me stands out to him, and so I guess that made me think about interabled dating a little bit differently, because it's a lot harder for me as a disabled person to date than it is for two able-bodied to date, because
Well,
there's like,
because I think there's two things at stake here.
yeah.
Firstly, there's the fact that that you, like, was your first language English or Vietnamese?
It was Vietnamese.
Coupled with the fact that she's dealing with cerebral palsy. So, English as a second language plus cerebral palsy are both what Sue is working with when she's approaching issues such as public speaking, which is lecturing, is very literally public speaking.
Yes. And
So,
speaking of that, I used to be really afraid of public speaking. It wasn't until 2018 when I challenged myself and I decided to do this TED Talk. And obviously, in the TED Talk, it did talk about one of the virtues that I would like to touch on, which is perseverance. And ethnically, like, anybody can persevere. I'm not trying to dismiss the fact that I can be
oh,
better.
just one other thing.
Yeah.
And this is also why I bring up English as a second language.
Yes.
I keep hearing you say ethnically. So ethnically refers to people's country of origin.
Oh yeah.
Ethically is the thing that Socrates and Plato were talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, and you're trying to say the thing Socrates and Plato and Aristotle were talking about, right?
Yes.
So ethically.
Ethically, yeah.
And then also something else I wanted to touch on is we were just at a retreat. There were like hiking trails that were not very accessible.
Yes, but I was able to do that. And one of the reasons why I was able to do that.
Okay. Put this down. If you have a seat here. Okay. And then I'm going to show everyone what a beautiful place we're in here. Okay. So firstly, here's Sue. How was the hike down?
It's good.
Good. Yeah, we came down from over there, down the hillside. Okay, and then the beautiful little stream right here, and then this bench here is dedicated to one of my relatives, Father Joe Devlin.
We were talking about doing a book on on Patrick's relative who happened to be a priest who helped a lot of Vietnamese refugees, and that doesn't dismiss that I'm also a child of immigrants, and a lot of these immigrants, I mean not my family, but a lot of these immigrants, they go to the U.S. by boat, and you can see the struggle between not being able to speak English and learning a new language, and just struggling with adjusting to like the way of life in the U.S. And so a lot of these legal issues that come up, so then they would have to persevere a lot, which leads me to understand that they are part of these marginalized group. Patrick's relative, I think he's a great example of what we talked about in class like a couple weeks back, liberation theology, that he was able to focus on the marginalized and help these people. So liberating, I remember in one of the reading responses we were talking about liberation theology, and I brought up a perfect example of Patrick's relative, and I just want to bring that up because somehow our Interabled relationship and the fact that we're doing this video is all connected to like our goals for the future, and that doesn't dismiss the fact that because we are in an Interabled relationship, we are able to thrive and survive.
If anyone watching this has any further thoughts that they would like to leave in the comments, please let us know. If you've not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. It will help us out a lot, as we do intend to grow our following and audience. And any suggestions, make sure to put them in the comments as well. And yeah, other than that, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you both, or we both will see you in the next video.
Toodles.